mitigation measure such that the profit is going to bounce back rather than keep on spending the money, right? So in terms of this, any project, you will have a measurement of investment return and risk involved in this project work. Okay, so let's start the class. Okay, and this paper going to take about 45 minutes finish. Okay, this one will be very fast because there's no calculation. If in the class I will show you. Now I cannot suddenly write all these things. Okay, so we are talking about measurement of investment, the return and the risk involved. Okay, outline attribute of the investment evaluation, theory of risk and return, sources of risk and return from property asset and risk return trade-off, right? We look at the investment evaluation. So normally an investment, let's say you tender a job, right? You get a job, okay, you have to evaluate, okay, the investment evaluation. That means the return, the risk, measurability of return and risk, and recognition of existence of uncertainty, right? So let's look at it. Okay, the risk. Okay, measure of what is expected to happen. So for instance, now you come to Singapore, right? You study what sort of risk that will affect you to leave Singapore. That means what is the expected thing you should do, then you will not leave. If you want to leave Singapore, very easy. First thing, you go and steal, you go and cheat people, okay, you fight with people. This thing, once you get caught, you'll be out. All right, that is the risk that you stay in Singapore. That means you must be a good girl, good boy. Don't be naughty. All right. So for a project, also there is a risk. The risk of failure in the sense of what? Failure of the construction timeline, the cost, and also the quality standard. All right. So this also relates to uncertainty of asset return, all right, future return. So what you have put in the money to kick out the project and you cannot meet the client expectation, there will be asset uncertainty. That means to say your company cannot grow further than what is required, right? So these are the things that you can see in a real term. Okay, level of probability that expected return is achieved. So by and large, in the preparation of this project, okay, your project manager and director have discussed and they have negotiated, okay, and they have come up with a high level of return. That means probability of return. The non-return probability will be very low, all right? Because they are all the expert people, they have years of experience, they can estimate a project. So no issue on that. Okay, concern. Okay, the best estimate, right? But there is a range of possible outcome. So you have to do the risk assessment of the project. Then you see what is the negative and positive outcome. Okay, if you have negative one, you try to reduce as much as you can. That means to say you have a strategic plan to work out the project that will not fail. All right. Most companies, when they get a project, they will try their best not to fail the project. Okay. Fail, that means to say you lost money. Okay. Your project delay. Okay. There's a formula. All right. Measure of expected return, estimation of expected return, ER, possible estimate, range of possible estimate, okay, best estimate and extreme outcome. So you need this calculation. You can see RI, each possible return, PI, that is the return will occur, and number of possible return, right? So use this formula to calculate the summation of P and R, right? So what is your expected return? You expect the return to be at this, the mean value and the normal distribution, which is this part. Okay, the failure will occur here. That is not possible because your calculation, your estimation is, you expect this level, which is 3 sigma, right? 3 sigma is 99%, 96%. Okay. Successful. Oh. So downside risk probability return will be less than expected. So basically, these are all statistical control. They call it standard deviation. All right. Here, all these are formula. You go in your accounting, you can have this, and your statistical textbook you have, they will show you example. All right, you go to the statistical internet, also you can find it. Okay. So number of observations is less than 30, right? So that means your so-called your observation, how many times you observe, how good it is, right? This is a N, 30 is an N. Okay, then you use this formula to calculate. Okay, there is a standard deviation. How far away from the standard that you want, okay? So the rule is say that if expected return are identical for two different assets, then choose the investment with the lower risk. Okay. So in a project work, when you come to construction, there isn't a choice. This is the way to do things, and you do another way, there will be a saving. Of course, you follow another way. But do another way, you can calculate the risk involved, how much risk, and in terms of human safety and health, does it affect the human? Okay. For example, this project may be time constraint. The time has been delayed. Okay. So you calculated. By the time the project finished, you're going to exceed the time by another 1 month. Okay. 1 month you have to pay the liquidity damage. So you have to pay back the customer. Then your return will be lesser. So what you can do is, with this so-called impact, then you ask your worker, your engineer, to work overtime. Instead of 1 day work 8 hours, they will become work 10 hours, 20 hours, 14 hours, according to the labor law. All right. So you cover and shorten the time. By the time project finish, you pay extra only the overtime. Okay. So you can do various means of determine the asset or the work. Okay, this is where experience really play a part. Not by calculation. Okay. So risk taker. Okay. Risk taker investor require a higher expected return for higher expected risk. This is true in every project. Okay, higher risk, you will have higher return. But are you prepared to take that higher risk? Whether your staff, your engineer, your worker, your supervisor, are they willing to work harder, longer hours? That will be the higher risk. And if they are willing to work longer hours, then your project will be shortened. Okay, then you can hand over to the client as early as you can, maybe 1 month early. All right. Some company, if you look at contractual obligation, some company, some client, okay, or customer, they always say that my project to you, this you must finish in 10 months. Okay, so every month you can save. That means you finish it in 9 months, meeting the quality standard. Okay, you meet the quality standard, meet the cost standard, you finish in 9 months. I can sell the property in the 9 months, not in the 10 months. That means I earn 1 month of property selling or rentals. All right. So that 1 month, maybe I can consider you as a contractor, I will pay you half of what I save. Say you save 1,000, maybe you pay the contractor another 500 out of the total cost. All right. So if you are able to do this, then both parties gain. Although the risk is high, but you can manage the risk and you can meet the safety and construction time and quality standard, the client will pay you automatically. All right, take note. So the higher the risk, the return is there. Same as the speculative stock market. All right, you go into the stock market, you don't know head or tail, you go in because your friend said this stock is good, this stock will gain maximum return. So you listen to your friend, you go in, venture and successfully done, right? And you gain the return at higher rate. Okay. Calculating risk assessment adjusted return. Okay. Attempt to provide single measure, that is expected return divided by risk. All right. So what is the risk percentage according to the return? All right. So the measure of unit of expected return per unit of risk. This is an alternative to means variant rule. All right. So all these things can be calculated even without statistics. If you have experience in a project, you can estimate the day, how many days the job will finish, etc. Right. Sources of risk. Okay. That's how I'm talking is about the project risk. But you're talking about general risk. That means the general economy, the supply of labor, etc. This is where the risk is all about. Okay, wider economy and capital market. Okay, expected depreciation. You know that today you buy $1, tomorrow you will buy $1.20. Same material. Why? Because of inflation. That means to say your product, the material that you buy, the inflation rate is increased by 20%. That means your purchasing power will be dropped to 80%. All right. So this is very important. Okay, in a company where there are a lot of equipment you buy and all this thing, there will be subjected to some depreciation. This is worldwide accounting practice. Okay, valuation and error in valuation. Yes, if you get somebody to evaluate your company, the guy have no knowledge, then they do anyhow, then the result will be no good. Okay, locational, physical, economic, and functional risk. Of course, when you locate the place of work, Singapore is okay, but you talk about India, you stay in the north, then the project in the south, then a lot of problems occur. All right, you don't understand the south people behavior, then you have a lot of problems. All right, so you talk about liquidity also, okay, marketability. When you talk about project, there isn't much about marketability. You talk about liquidity. Okay, this is liquidity. That means the company funding is not enough. They cannot get the pay from the customer. Then the problem is the cash flow. It will be an issue. That will be liquidity, right? Risk associated with legal, of course, institutional chain. There will be law keep on changing, especially Singapore, construction law, BTO law, everything change. So you have to learn to adjust to it and adjust your company so-called expectation. Okay, default, void, all these things. I want to talk about it. Okay, end of the day is you have to take into consideration all this. Oh. Okay, incorporating risk, discount expected cash flow. Okay, they have discount in terms of borrowing from bank, then you have this cash flow problem, then you borrow, you have to pay interest rate. All right. So scenario analysis by pessimistic, base case, and optimistic. All right. There are three type of category that you do the scenario analysis. Okay. Return also same. Capital return, how much you throw in into the investment, how much you're going to see your income return, and total amount is how much. Okay. So this is the formula. CRT equal to CVT and minus CVT minus 1 over CVT minus 1. All right. So CRV is capital return in T. CVT is capital value at the end of the period. And this one is T minus 1, the capital value at end period. Okay. Income return same. Okay. Income return for period, net income, and capital value of start period and end of the period. Okay. So you take note of this. All the formula is there. You go and check it out yourself. Okay. I have a textbook on all this written, but I can't teach you based on calculation. Okay, you just understand there is a formula for you to check on your income. Okay. All the formula. Equivalent measure in share value. This one could be out of our scope because this is a share. We talk about project, right? So need to use valuation to estimate capital value or share and give actual market value, etc. All right. So timing of cash flow is very important. Measured, assume all income received at the end of the period. Income is twice yearly in error, that means delay income. Income for share, from share, okay, and also from UK property. I mean, this is UK standard, right? So again, expenditure again, okay, how much you want to inject into the capital, how much is the value over a period, that means the depreciation value, okay. Time weighted return, also based on the time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, how much money do you have in terms of the return in maybe 8 month time. So you have to do a calculation on your income for the 8 month expenses, etc., etc. Right? So you see the return how much. Okay, this is a geometric means of return calculated whenever cash flow occur. All right, your money you collected, how much you go out, how much you pay the worker, etc., etc. Okay, I don't want to go through more. So this is a question. Okay, consider the two investments A and B. Calculate the return. Okay, so the first return is, for example, A side 600, 1002, and 1008. The probability of that return, you look at 1002 is 75%. The chance of return is there. Okay, you earn. This one also same. So the chance of non-return, maybe 18. 18 is about maybe 20% or 10% or 30% return. Same as this one. So the value, compare the investment A and B. Of course, investment B is higher value. So in terms of return, investment B will be much better choice than investment A. Okay. So in calculation, you can refer to the formula initially I show you based on this slide. Okay. Any question? I know you a little bit confused, but if you keen now, you read all the statistic one, you should know, right? Oh, hello. Okay, all is present. Can you show your faces so I can take a photograph? Okay. So I will forward to Misma the question for the past 7 unit. Okay. And this one, you can rest assured, I don't want to let you do this because a bit complicated. Unless we have a classroom, then I'll give you. Right. So the unit 1 to 5 and 7. This one is unit 6. Right. So every unit there is a question. It's on or on descriptive type. All right. Okay. So friend, any more question? Next week, Monday, I will be around with you. Tuesday, Thursday, and Wednesday, I'm not around. I outside do something teaching also, right? And Friday I will see you. Okay, so I will give Miss Ma the question, and he will circulate to you. So far, 2 students sent me the answer, the first part. Okay, reasonably well, they have answered. Please make your effort to do it. Okay, your answer sheet I will forward to Miss Ma later on. Okay, and this one will add into your final exam the mark. Okay. So, any more question? If no, then I'll send to Miss Ma the question and you all start doing. Ken? Hello? No sound. You know, half an hour time I will send the question to Miss Ma. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, okay, then see you on Monday. Okay?
Okay.